Reddit reacts and responds to a post called, "I want you to drop your most controversial gaming opinion without fear." Reply 1. About 50% of posts here are popular opinions. Reply response. Someone earlier essentially said indie is better than AAA. What a bold statement. My take is that most games aren't relaxing. I'd rather just watch a show if I didn't feel like thinking or doing stuff. Reply response. Stardew especially isn't relaxing. Reply 3. Most eMorg games kinda suck. Reply response. I agree after spending what's probably more than 3 hours on WoW. I've decided the game ain't that fun. Reply 4. Not every single good game needs to be rated a 9 or 10 out of 10 or it's immediately the worst game ever made. That's the beauty of a 10-point rating system. People are way too reactionary about the smallest things in games nowadays. And it makes discussing them online much less fun than it used to be. Edit. Case in point. Starfield is either the best game ever made or the biggest disappointment since I didn't become a doctor. Thanks, Dad. Why can't it just be a fun, good game? Or even a game you just don't care for? Like, I don't understand the extremist reactions to every single game nowadays. It's either the Messiah of Aya or it's fucking dog water. Like people almost want a game to be bad, so they have a reason to bitch nowadays. And if it's good, they find one aspect they dislike and catch mad feelings over it. But that doesn't necessarily make it a bad game. And it's become almost impossible to tell on gaming subs. Because the most intense reactions get the most interaction. Reply response. The lack of Aya games has caused the numbers to inflate. People can't imagine a 6 or 7 being good while most as were exactly that. Reply 5. Video game reviews should use the full 10-point scale. Reserve these 9s and 10s for truly generation-defining games. A 5 is average. 0 is unplayable or completely broken. We're so used to the school system grading that 50% means failure that we don't get real analysis. Just fighting over 90. TÜV's 90. 3. Reply 6. That people equate personally dislike with objectively bad and treat differing opinions as personal attacks or worse. It kills discussions. Reply 7. The push for better graphics is killing the AIA industry. Edit. I wish the people asking how this is controversial would just read the comments arguing with my post. Reply response. For real. I don't give a shit about how realistic the sweat dripping off a character's forehead is. Give me story. Reply 8. Gamers are still the worst part of gaming. Message to all the that's not controversial. Remember that being on Reddit makes you unlike the average gamer. Something can be very accepted on Reddit, and no, where else, thus making it controversial. The replies to this all seem to skirt around gamers bad, but it's also everyone blaming each other. The controversy comes from the reasons. Are gamers bad because they are toxic online? Or because they buy shitty games and ruin the industry? Or because they went woke or didn't go woke? Feel free to think beyond the obvious and really dive into the controversy. Reply 9. Playing on easier difficulties doesn't make you a worse gamer. In fact, many forget that games don't always need to be challenging to be fun. Reply 18. Game files are getting too large for no justifiable reason. Reply 11. Streaming and stream viewing is a toxic blight on gaming, and parasocial relationships are a genuine problem that more people need to be conscious of their involvement in. Reply 12. Stray didn't properly give the experience of playing as a cat. You could replace the cat with a small, mute robot and change nothing else, including dialogue, and it'd still be cohesive. Reply 13. The original ending to Mass Effect 3 was fine. You were just upset the amazing journey was over, and no ending was going to live up to what you had been through. Reply 13. Breath of the Wild is an average open-world explorer that maintains itself by being a collectathon. Reply response. Same for talk. The game has great parts, but I feel like people overlook the negatives. The physics engine is amazing, but as good as it is, it's not really elevating the gameplay. The feeling of character progression pales against other open-world games, like Elden Ring. So much of the world is just skippable. Vast stretches of boredom, especially you know where. 60 through the game haven't met a puzzle near as good as appears in other Zelda games. Rewards for exploration are too few and far between. I hear all this talk about best game of all time, and I don't think it's even best game of the year, or maybe even the best Zelda game. Reply response. A 2. I just dropped the same thing. If it didn't have the Zelda name attached to it, its many flaws would have received far more criticism. Reply response. A 3. If it wasn't a Zelda game, it's getting a 6 or 7 at most for being plain and missing basic features compared to other games in the genre. Immortals Phoenix Rising did almost everything Zelda did but looked better, ran better, had like 5x more content, and got a 7 literally proves my point.